This is Matt Duffield from mattduffieldtrading.com, and tonight we're going to do a video analysis on ACI and CLTX, two of the hot penny stocks of the day. Before we get started, I want to remind you this video is for information and educational purposes only. I am not a registered investment advisor, and neither is mattduffieldtrading.com. And penny stock trading can be very risky. You can lose a lot of money, as I'll show you on CLTX. So just be sure to make your own decisions. Okay, so first of all, ACI. This was a big runner this morning. It gapped, let's see, from 229, it gapped to open at 258. And this thing took off, just super spiked up to the $4 level. I didn't see this one until it was too late, unfortunately. I think it was up in the high 3 range. And when I started doing some research, I went back on the daily chart. When you go, you don't have to go that far. 4 months back, you can see there's a nice layer of resistance right there at $4. So I figured the rally would stall at $4, and sure enough, it breached it for a few minutes here in that early trading, but sold off pretty heavily afterwards. I did send out a tweet around 10:30 or so saying ACI was holding higher lows. As you can see, it put in a low here, 340, another low here, 351, and the lows kept getting higher. So at the time it was still bullish, but as soon as it put in a lower low, you can see that's when price really sold off hard, all the way down to the it looks like it hit a low of 276 before rebounding. And, kind of trading sideways the rest of the day. I did buy into this at 332 right in here because there's a mini bull flag. I thought this was going to spike up to about 370. So I did tweet that, it could spike to 370. It didn't. I'm still holding the position. I'll show you why. If you go out to, it doesn't matter. You can go out to a 60-minute chart or 10-minute chart, and you can see it. There's a nice little triangle, symmetrical triangle there. And I can draw the trend lines just to, make this clear. There's a lower trend line, upper trend line. So there you go. You have a symmetrical triangle. So basically, tomorrow morning, I'm playing this, that this can have another huge spike right out of the gate up to $4, maybe even a little bit higher than $4. Or if this doesn't spike right out of the gate, I think it can come down and test $3. So for me, I'm looking at a 10% loss, but potential, 20% upside. So not bad. But if in the morning, in the first, 15 to 30 minutes, if this opens and it's kind of trading choppy and doesn't really go anywhere, I'm going to get out. I'm going to cut my losses. So that's kind of my take on ACI. Let's go over to CLTX, which, there was a lot of hype on this one last night, a lot of high expectations. I even thought it could be the next AQXP. There was chatter all around on, stock twits and message boards saying it could be the next AQXP. And when I woke up this morning in pre-market, I saw it, open around 480, 490, and next thing you know is in the 580s. And I thought I totally missed another huge runner. But what happened, this ended up opening today, where to open? 459. So it came down a lot from pre-market. So that was the red flag for me right there, that this probably wasn't going to hold on to its gains very well. It was already well over $1 off the highs. And let's go to the intraday 1-minute chart. So as you can see here, after opening, it tanked all the way down to $3 and into the 280s before, putting in a little rebound, 10% rebound, which is small for, the volatility on this stock. Okay, before we go into the rest of that price action, I want to show you kind of what I've been seeing. So this morning I noticed that what we had here was an ascending broadening wedge. Let's see, you could put it about like that. That looks, or you could draw it like here. I think that's good. Okay. So this is very typical at the end of a huge rally. It's characterized by putting in touching this upper trend line 3 times, touching this lower trend line 3 times, all with higher prices on either end. So that being said, once I saw this morning, and in the early session when it was down around $3, I thought, man, this could be, the end. This could be a huge sell-off on the way. And sure enough, when it fell out of this wedge, it back tested the lower trend line and then just tanked all the way down to 208, I think the low was. Yeah. So I sent out a tweet around 240. I was looking for a bottom on this thing. It had sold off so hard, and I said maybe it'll bounce or have a tradable bounce at the 50% retracement at $2.33. So basically 50% from the day's high of 467 was 233. So it overshot that level. Like I said, it came down to 208, but it was close. It was within the range. And then it just ignited this massive short covering rally here. It went from 208 almost back to $4. I mean, this thing was on fire. So, going into the final 30 minutes of trading, actually final hour, it consolidated. High volatility. After hitting 390, it came back down to 3, back up to 370, back down to 3. So still a lot of volatility. Let's get rid of these trend lines. And as you can see on the daily chart, huge volume, 21 million shares yesterday, 21 million today. So, I mean, this thing is still in play, even though it closed down 20% on the day. So the big question is, this is where it gets fun. This is like a puzzle. You try to piece together, where is this thing going next? I still think there's a lot more volatility in it for tomorrow. And, this is a confusing setup at this point because it looks like you have a bull flag. If so, and this breaks out above, say 330 again, this could very well go to $5 a share. And that would probably come quickly in the morning. Look how similar this setup is to that initial push higher yesterday. So that's a possibility. Another possibility is that we start to form, let's see, like a symmetrical triangle. We'll include that. We'll include the tops. There you go. So the lines don't show the best, but as you can see, they're converging, and that could form a symmetrical triangle. So I'm thinking a likely scenario might be that this opens or quickly sells off and touches, I don't know if it'll touch 240. It may get that low, but somewhere in the 250 to 270 range, maybe by the time this trend line rises. So, I mean, that could be a great dip buying opportunity. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure where it goes from there. Is it going to push on to $5 or $6, or is it going to get back to 4? Maybe stay range bound. I don't think this is a pump and dump like, a lot of people would like to claim. I mean, there's obviously some fundamental stuff going on, like the $75 million private placement. There's definitely some interest here. So regardless, I don't think this is going back below $2 anytime soon. So, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm seeing. I hope that helps you guys out. Good luck.